welcome you, alumni and friends, to this Holy Names University celebration and completion event. It's an ancient tradition to tell stories during times of loss and grieving. And we wanted to offer that today for folks from near and far as a way of bringing some solace and some closure around the events at the college. We specifically wanted to offer this to people who were not in the local area that could have attended the events last weekend, which I heard were really lovely, which I'm sure Sister Carol can speak to. And so we want to take a little time today to let folks on the call share your stories of holy names. And I'm Lori Mazan. I was actually the assistant director of the residence halls under Sister Carol, and also the dean and assistant dean of students at various times. And I thought of this idea because I was talking with my sister about the closing of the university. And she said a striking thing. She said, I owe my career to holy names. And I was like, whoa, that's quite a statement. What does that mean? And she's like, I got my teaching credential there. And without that, I would not have advanced in my career. And she had a very lovely career as a teacher and then as the director of an arts in the school program. And she attributed all of that success to holy names. So I thought maybe there's other people who want to provide their gratitude or tell stories of their experience with the college, the university, the sisters, and as a way to kind of let us all have a sense of completion and kind of satisfaction with our experience there. So to get us started, Sister Carol is going to talk a little bit.
Thank you, Lori. Actually, I must say that Lori was the very first person I hired at Holy Names University when I started there 40 years ago. And we worked together in the residence halls and had many adventures together.
40 years ago, oh my gosh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel old, but anyway, older.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's wonderful. I can also say I think the class of 67 is winning so far. We have a lot of people in my class who are here, so thank you all for joining us. I'm so pleased to see so many of you, and I know that more will come as we continue through this process. And we come together today to reminisce, to see one another via technology, if we can, both new and longtime friends, as well as to acknowledge how difficult this closing of our beloved university is for each of us. It is most fitting that we meet today, the 155th anniversary today of the sisters' arrival in San Francisco from Quebec on May 10th, 1868. There are so many images we might reflect on at this moment in the history of Holy Names, whether you attended College of the Holy Names, or Holy Names College, or Holy Names University. One image that I read about recently was the parable of the trapeze. We have been hanging on to the trapeze bar of Holy Names, some of us longer than others, and we have certain feelings of control and feeling at home. Now we are called to look out ahead to see the next trapeze bar that is swinging toward us. And we know we must let go of our grip on the present, well-known bar and soar toward the next trapeze bar. In our hearts, we must totally release our grasp of the old bar and for some moment in time, hurtle across and grab a hold of the new, not knowing where it will take us. We are in this period of transition, which can be scary and confusing. Perhaps the transition zone is what is real, the place where the real change and real growth take place between the trapeze bars. I invite you to remain wholeheartedly in each moment of this experience. The other image I would share with you is of the garden. At any given time, there is always something that has come into full bloom in the garden. Its blossoms have peaked, fulfilled their purpose, and are now receding. They shimmer, exuding the luminous quality of completion. And a similar moment has arrived for Holy Names. After 155 years of joyous blossoming, the time of completion has come. When we step back and look deeply at Holy Names, the time of completion has come. When we step back and look deeply at Holy Names, this is what we see. All of you, beloved alumni, who have encouraged, supported, and loved her over the years. Though we may have been the ones tending it, it was you who brought forth her blossoms of beauty, season after season. We are so grateful. And since we're going to be ending this session with a lovely prayer, I just want to take a minute to thank Lori, who was the creator of this idea and has made it happen through the magic of technology, and her supporters in that as well, who are with us. I also want to thank Sister Miriam Malone, who has prepared our closing prayer and will be editing the video so that we can share it with the sisters. And finally, I thank each of you for your participation in our gathering today. The Alumni Office, this is a little plug, the Alumni Office has extra yearbooks. If you're interested in obtaining one, please email Sister Carol Nicholas at nicholas@hnu.edu by the end of the week. And she will be happy to get in touch with you and help you figure out how to get that. So today, I thank you for participating in this, and I thank God for each of you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sister Carol. And now we're going to open up this get together for anybody who would like to share stories, thank yous, gratitude, blessings. Yes, and you can just raise your hand, or you can raise your hand electronically. Either way, and we'll put you in the queue. So, Anna, if you could open up Eileen Leo, she's raising her hand.
I just unmuted myself. Wonderful.
Oh, you muted yourself. Okay.
Yes, yes. Oh, I am so grateful to be here today. How I wished I could have been there on the 6th and at our reunion last September. And I'm Eileen Leo in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Sister Carol and I were in the class of 67. We were in the dorm right down the hall from each other. And we have wonderful, fun memories. And college is supposed to be fun. Yes, it's a learning institution, but we learn a lot of different things, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We learn more about ourselves, and we learn how to meet new people and experiences and trust and fun and growing up and witnessing growing up with each other. But so I came out to Holy Names in 63. I had never been to California before. I flew out on a plane by myself, had not seen the college, didn't know anybody or anything about it. But I think it was the juniors or seniors that year of 62, 63 had the job of pairing the incoming freshmen to be roommates. I don't know if you remember that, Carol. And so they put our names together. And there were 3 on one side of the suite and 3 on the other side. And I have stayed close with my freshman college roommate. So we were girls just turning 18, and now we're grandmothers together.
Wow.
that
Wonderful.
magic can happen.
Yes. Yes.
Happened for both of us at Holy Names. And I went out to Holy Names expressly because at that time, in 1962, that's when we were looking for colleges, my mom and I already knew that I wanted to be a speech language therapist. And so we looked all over the United States for a private college that offered it. And we looked in California because I thought California sounded like fun. And so Holy Names, it was the College of the Holy Names back then. It was the only private school in the whole state of California to offer speech language therapy. The only school. So I went up there for that. And Sister Paul Francis was the main teacher. Anyway, and I did become a speech language therapist and only stopped doing that in 2001. So that was a nice long career.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And thank you for sharing. I'm struck by the fact that you have 60-year relationships. That's amazing.
Thank you for all the love and the fun and the good learning.
All right. And thank you for sharing. We have Mazanga with their hand raised. Maybe just say your name. I think I mutilated it.
Yes. My name is Mudzunga Farisani. I'm watching this at 1 a.m. in South Africa. I'm in South Africa. I was fortunate enough to have been brought to Holy Names when it was still called college. After I had completed my AA degree at Alameda College. Doris Holmes was scouting around for, a college which would suit my situation. I was exiled then. My husband had been tortured, and US, we were in the hands of the Lutheran Church. So she brought me at Holy Names College. And I just fell in love with the college immediately. And I was welcomed by Sister Margaret. And there was another sister, Sister Nancy. Yes, and I took psychology as my major. And I graduated in 1992 cum laude. And I was a recipient of the Founders Medal. I don't know whether you're able to see it from where you are. Are you able to see the medal that I received?
We don't see your video. You'll have to turn your video on for us to see it.
Oh, my video. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go. There you are. Oh, wonderful.
Yes. I received it in 1992 when I graduated from Holy Names College. For me, it was more like a home, away from home. And the institution, when I couldn't make it to class, I would receive calls from the sisters just to find out, because we didn't have cell phones then, find out exactly what the problem was. And I'll tell them, I'm in bed, I'm not feeling well. And it was so comforting just to know that the people who care for me away from home.
Yes.
And yeah, the spiritual part was great for me, because not only did I need the education, but education, yes, it was a priority, so that even when I go back to South Africa, it was during apartheid era then, I would have a better input. And indeed, Holy Names built me so much. The likes of Marsha Douglas, I don't know whether she's still there. Yeah, yes. I took some of her classes, and I really enjoyed being at Holy Names. Yeah, it was fun.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you so much.
And I made so many friends there as well. The friends are still in touch with, and I'll be seeing those friends somewhere in, September, October when I come to the States again.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I hope I'll be able to visit the institution and take pictures with my children, because when I was there, they were still very young. Just for them to see. I don't know whether it will be under lock and key then, but I would really love to come and take pictures. There are lots of memories about it. I think there was a library. When you go in the library, I think on the left-hand side, there's a small room where I used to go and pray. And I remember some of my friends, when they had problems, would go sit, pray, and cry there. And that was therapeutic to me. And to be honest with you, I cried when I heard that Holy Names University is closing down. And I said, oh my gosh, it's about my being. And now that it's closing down, it touched me so much that I felt if wishes were horses, if only they were, I would keep it alive. Thank you so much.
Muzunga, thank you for getting up in the middle of the night to be with us. My goodness.
Yes.
And on Saturday, we will be giving our last Founders Medal to someone.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. And maybe the sister you're referring to is Sister Nancy Teskey. Sister Carol?
Yes, Sister Nancy Teskey.
Yeah.
Is she still around?
No, Sister died several years ago.
Sister Nancy?
Unfortunately.
Nancy?
Yes, she was very young. She was only a couple years older than I am, but she had cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Appreciate your comments and stories. Who else would like to share something?
I see Constance Dalton has her hand up, Lori.
Okay, Constance, and then Loetta.
So I just wanted to celebrate, especially the sisters who were wonderful to me, and share particularly just a couple who were special. So I went to Holy Names High School also in Oakland, and during the time I was there, Sister Francesca Cabrini was kind of an informal counselor for some of us. So, toward the end of senior year, she stopped me in the hall and said, "So where are you going to college?" And I said, "Oh, sister, I won't be going right away because, I was working to pay my tuition at the high school." And I said, "I need to put a little aside in order to go to college." And she said, and I wrote it down, I'm sure I'll never forget it. She said, "Oh no, you'll start liking having income, and then you'll meet someone, and you'll get married, and you'll have children, and we'll never see you again." I said, "Well, sister, I still need to work to earn the money." And the next thing I knew, she contacted my parents and offered, through the college, of course, a scholarship to go there. Not a full scholarship. I still worked. I worked all 4 years, and I think it was a good life enhancement to do that. And of course, I took classes from her and became an English major and just loved that, and loved Dr. Vilma Richmond as well while we're going down that path. All right. So since I graduated in 1971, that was during the Vietnam War era. I have a brother who is 1 year older than I, and he immediately enlisted and went to Vietnam. Sister Ethel Mary started having sessions. They started a couple times a week, and then they were almost daily. She was against the war, and she wanted to talk to the students and give us a chance to talk about it ourselves. And I remember saying to her, "Sister, no matter how I feel about it politically, my brother is there." And she said, "Of course, you have to pray for your brother." But she said something that has always stuck with me. She said, "If something bad happens to someone on the other side, or if they do something bad to us, how does hurting someone else make that better?" You have to think about that and cope with it. Yeah. And then
a few years, I graduated and I started working, but I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. A few years later, of course, I decided to be a teacher, as so many of us did. And I remember coming for an interview, and classmates of mine and other people in the teaching profession saying, "Wait for Sister June, wait for Sister June." Well, I didn't know Sister June Kearney, but I did when I came and registered for that credential year, and she was phenomenal. When I tell other teachers that we had 4 placements, that she pushed public school just as much as Catholic school, they can hardly believe it. And that's the kind of place that Holy Names has always been. You can hardly believe the good things that happen. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for naming all those names too. I start to remember all those people, and it's lovely to hear about them. All right, I think Loetta, you're up.
In 1953, so I'm a little older than a lot of you here. I spent 3 years down on the Lake Merritt, and then we were in the transition in 1953-7, moving from the lake up to the mountain. So we were the first class to actually graduate from the mountain.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I spent an extra year to get my master's and my teaching credentials. But I have to say that the years at Holy Names were probably the best years of my life. And it gave me an education, it gave me a career, and it made the rest of my life wonderful. So I can't say enough about how much I appreciated Holy Names, and so sorry to see that it's not going to be going on. But thank you for everything. Thanks.
You're welcome, and thank you, Loetta. Yeah, I know, that's amazing. Went from the lake to the mountain, huh? Yeah. Okay, good. Who else? Oh, Catherine, you are up next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I graduated from an international Catholic single-sex girls' school in Yokohama, Japan, St. Mo International School, where I am still at. And so when I went to Holy Names College, my horizon had been really expanded, particularly living in the dorms. I still owe a lot to some of the wonderful professors that I've had, teachers I've had. Somebody mentioned Dr. Velma Richmond. I was an English major also. Miss Roberta Palumbo, of course. Okay. These were English department teachers who had really impacted on me. And when I went to Holy Names, I had wanted to major in English literature. Okay. And I continued doing so, and I wanted to get a California teaching credential. I knew that my family was back in Japan, most of my family. So I would be coming back to Japan. And I started working for my alma mater since 1977. And I will actually be retiring this summer, but I've just I've been assigned to be the chairperson of the board of this school. So I won't be in every day, but continuing on with the Christian principles, the Catholic principles, the core values, and at Holy Names, apart from being involved in the spiritual retreats or various activities there, okay, that had really carried on for me. And also when I said expanding my horizons, although I was at an international school, I never had really seen like Saudi Arabians in my school, or even with the Japanese people. I did not go to Japanese educational system. So it's only at Holy Names. The director of residence at that time was Sister Shirley, okay? And the ESL students, okay, had one wing of our dorms, okay? My undergraduate years, I was in the dorms, okay? And I befriended a lot of these Japanese people who were baffled that I'm a US citizen, but I can speak Japanese, but my English was better. So really expanded my horizons about the learning of various cultures, how the people in the Mideast would be there, in the learning that they had, people from South America. There were very few such people at my school, alma mater, here in Yokohama. So I'm very, very thankful for having gone to Holy Names College, which did offer me a full tuition scholarship. Okay. And of course, as some of you had worked throughout, I worked in the public relations office at Holy Names with Maggie Williams, okay, at that time. And really, I've continued on with my career in education without having changed my mind that I should become a business entrepreneur or something else. So I do owe a lot of what I was able to carry on, okay, and all my aspirations, spiritually, personally, career-wise, in expanding my connections with people here. So I really thank you for that.
Great. Thank you so much, Catherine. Rose Marie, you're up next.
Yeah, so I had 4 years at Ramona Convent in Alhambra. And when I was at Ramona, the nuns were very generous and let me work so I could pay for my tuition that way. And then they encouraged me to go to Holy Names. So I was very pleased to go to Holy Names. I got a bachelor's in physical science in 1970 and then ended up getting a bachelor's in nursing in 1975. So I had the experience of comparing Holy Names to UCSF. And I found Holy Names quite superior to UCSF, even though it was like number 1 or number 2 in nursing education. So it was a very rich experience. So I'm very, very grateful. And I have friends from Ramona Convent. I'm from the class of 1970. And we're a pretty active class. We had a reunion at Villa Maria del Mar, and quite a few of us met there. And there were a lot of us there on Saturday, so it was fun. We were, of course, we're at Holy Names, and then after that we went to Krogan's and had a meeting just for our class of 70. So I'm very, very grateful. When I was at Ramona, I was asked to play the part of Mother Marie Rose, and my name is Rose Marie, and so I have a picture of me, and the nuns have it back in high school. But yeah, the connection has been very strong and very warm. So just thank you very much to Holy Names. And thank you for being able to do all these activities. The concert, I went to the symphony concert with my husband, and we were very impressed. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rosemary. All right, we still have time for some other folks. So who else might like to say something?
Okay, yes, I graduated from Holy Names in '66, and I was an English major. I was in the honors program, blah, blah, blah. But I had the usual, then I went on to graduate school at Berkeley, and I had the usual, sense that maybe having gone to a small school and so forth and so on, I was now swimming in a bigger pond, and this was going to be scary. And to my, I won't say surprise, but to my delight, I realized when I got there and took a few classes that I had a background in the subject that was better than a lot of people who had gone to more supposedly prestigious universities and colleges. So that was kind of delightful, and it really did stand me in good stead. I actually completed a PhD, and I had learned a lot about not only the subject, but how to do research and so forth at Holy Names. So that was a good thing. My funny memory from Holy Names, when I was I think probably all 4 years, I was active in the English Honor Society. And I think it was my junior year, we decided to put on a play for the Honor Society Christmas party or some event such as that. We did one of the medieval St. George and the Dragon plays from Britain. I, of course, played the dragon. And it was such a hit with our classmates that we ended up putting it on for the rest of the college. And we charged some pitiful amount of money for admission, and we earned a little money to support our next party. But I suppose I could thank Holy Names for putting me in touch with my inner dragon as well. So anyway, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to touch base one more time before the college fades into the scheme of things. And it's lovely seeing all you people, some of whom I actually remember. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Paula.
Yes.
I think Thomas is up next.
Thank you very much. I didn't know if I should even volunteer to share because I've looked at the 2 screens of participants, all of whom are ladies. And so I stand out as the lone gentleman in the session. My gratitude, like as so many of you have offered in today's session, is it runs deep. I was a music major for the Kodai program. I've put in the comments that Sister Carol Selman and I were in the same class, and we had many a night of study that would take us to 1 and 2 in the morning just because there was so much demanded of us. And she was a trooper. She stayed with me. We worked together and we both succeeded in that class. The Kodai training carried me my entire career. And I've heard others of you express the things that you gained at Holy Names literally became the foundation to support you emotionally and physically and spiritually in all of the ways that your experiences gained at Holy Names would support you throughout your lives beyond HNC for me, but HNU for a lot of the whippersnappers who are out there. I made friends, obviously, with students who were in other programs. And so I was taken to memory lane when I heard about Dr. Velma Richmond because I knew English majors and I didn't ever know Dr. Richmond personally. I didn't take any classes from her, but I can tell you the reviews that I heard from students who took her was that her demands, while all was fair, were borderline cruel. And she put her students through the paces. And that's good. Why else would you be in school except to find out what is your highest good and are you able and willing to rise to it? And I think Velma Richmond was one of those people. My team of people who were inspirational were Jean Elizabeth was the music department chairperson at the time. Tony Locke was a curator for folk music. Sister Mary Alice Hine was central to the entire Kodai program. It's that kind of vision that I think the Sisters of the Holy Names have exhibited over and over and over again in the history of that school, which is to look to see what are the needs that we face as a society. What are the educational needs? What are the social needs? The sisters have looked at that openly, and they have found ways to address it that would be useful both to the local HNU community, but then also domestically and globally. And that in and of itself will be the huge legacy that will stand the test of time for many, many years to come after Saturday when the very sad closing occurs. But I will say on a final note that was to me most impacting was I went to public universities and I went to 2 private universities. So I've been in big schools in my educational career. I've been in small schools. But what was single-handedly most impacting to me was walking across campus by myself one day. A person walked toward me and I didn't know who this person was, but this person greeted me by name. You can imagine how surprised I was, just another body on the campus to be greeted by name. And I found out afterward that that was none other than the then president, Sister Irene Woodward. And I thought, if her demands as the university president, and it was college, it was Holy Names College at the time, her demands aren't great enough to run a college, and she's taking her time to learn the names of students who are on the campus. She didn't have to do that. But that I will always carry as a pretty special experience on that campus. So gratitude to all those who helped me to get where I am. Gratitude to the entire community of the Sisters of the Holy Names, whose wisdom provided so much for so many. And the very best wishes to all of you on this call who are ambassadors for the great things that the school gave to us. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Thomas.
I just wanted to say thank you to Sister Carol and everyone else that put this together and guided us through these last days. And I have such happy memories from Holy Names. I was in the first class to graduate from the Hill in '62, and I was able to go to our reunion. It was such a treat last October, and I appreciate so much all that went in to make that possible. And with this closure, it kind of leaves me with many happy memories. And also, I have so many memories of my mom being involved. She was friends with so many of the sisters. And maybe not so much when I was in school, but then afterwards for years and years. And she was the one that really kind of kept me in touch with the Holy Names community. So that's nice that my name said Iris. That was her name. And usually I'm Missy. So that I have Iris on my iPad today.
Yes, I guess Iris is here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Missy. Okay, Sala.
I just wanted to say thank you as well, Sister Carol. Thomas mentioned Sister Irene Woodward and Sister Francesca. When I was there, when I attended Holy Names, I graduated in 1999. I was kind of afloat, I guess I would say, and didn't know what I was going to be doing. I returned as an adult because that was, I think, the year, if not the year before, that they had began the adult evening program. Mm-hmm. And I was so thrilled to be able to go back to school and to study, because I hadn't felt at that time that I could do very well in the work world without a degree. Mm-hmm. I would like to say that since that time, I've been able to get jobs as a writer in different organizations, doing business writing and so forth. And I'm really thrilled and really grateful, because my life would have been taken a completely different path if I hadn't gone back to Holy Names. And I went to several colleges looking for a place to attend. And I came to Holy Names, and the campus and the sisters and the teachers and the environment just really drew me in. And it's something that I will hold in my heart forever. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank you all, and thank you, Sister Carol, and for pulling this together. Thank you. Lori, it's really, I left California in 2000 and haven't been back, but those years that I spent in that program are just divine. That's the only word I can use for it. So I just wanted to be sure that I said thank you for everything.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sala. Okay, Kathleen, go right ahead.
Greetings from St. Louis. I'm here to share memories of really my whole family and their involvement in Holy Names. My oldest sister, Mary Ann, was in the class of 1960. She passed away just this past March. But in February, I spoke with her, and she remembers most Sister Mary Baptista and Sister Denise Madeline because they influenced her to become a research scientist. She earned her PhD, and they were important people in her life. My sister Patsy, who passed away about 2.5 years ago, class of 63, she became a reading specialist, but she was very fond of her German instructor, Dr. Abramovich, and because of him, she became a German minor and actually went to Germany for a good chunk of her education. I am in the class of 1967. I became a high school chemistry teacher, inspired by Sister Mary Ambrose. And Sister Mary Ambrose would do demonstrations every Friday in our introductory chemistry class, and she inspired me to follow that in my own teaching. And lastly, I'd like to mention my parents, because my mother, Mary Dombrink, worked in the business office at Holy Names in the last few years of her life, and my father, Henry Dombrink, was president of the men's organization at the opening of the College on the Hill. So Holy Names has definitely been a family experience for me, and I appreciate it very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathleen. Well, we're coming towards the end of our time, and I wanted to just kind of summarize the themes of what people have talked about. One was just the personal and spiritual care that Holy Names offered in all of its iterations to the folks who were participating there. Definitely the educational rigor was mentioned multiple times. The friends that people made that lasted actually a lifetime. The foundational experience that was created for so many people, the basis for their career, the basis for their spiritual life. And lastly, I put a little twist, just the ability for people to realize their potential and feel like the sisters and the teachers at the school saw their potential and helped them realize that as well. I mean, it's pretty hard to find something that's better than that. And I have a kind of a favorite quote that I always think of when there's endings and completions. And it's from a strange source, but I still loved it. And it's, one death is the birth of 1,000 lives. And I feel like the Sisters of the Holy Names have birthed way more than 1,000 lives over their time in California, and obviously probably before that. And I think the gratitude that's due to them is more than we could actually ever state. So thank you for being here today. I want to see if Sister Carol wants to make any concluding comments before we go to a beautiful ending prayer that Sister Miriam created.
No, I don't think so, Lori, except it's just wonderful to see everyone and to hear the stories. And as you say, so many commonalities in everyone's experiences, whether you graduated in, or you came in 53 or you came in 2003. And so we are, and you know, I think, Lori, we would say that the Holy Name Sisters have educated thousands and thousands of people.
Yes.
As we are cleaning out, Shiva Gibson said to me today that she's having a hard time because she's going through so many things of the hundreds of students that she taught, trying to decide what she should get rid of and what she really needed to keep. So we hold you all very specially in our hearts during these days. Thank you for coming.
Yes, and those numbers impacted are really in the millions. Because if you think of all the people impacted directly and then all the people that those folks impact, folks who are teachers, people in their career, their family members, it's probably, we're all really millionaires and billionaires in our gift we've received from Holy Names.
God of love, who has given us life and all that is good, we give thanks for the part that Holy Names University played in enriching our lives and the lives of others. With hearts both grateful and sad, we entrust this property into your hands. We know that change is the essence of life for people and places. May whoever lives or works here next make it a place of beauty, hospitality, and service to our world. As we let go of our beloved university, may we carry in our hearts the people we met here and the knowledge we found here. And may we never fail to rejoice in your many gifts, in the many seasons of our individual and communal lives. This we ask in the names of Jesus and Mary. Amen.